Welcome. I hope that you are in a receptive mood to what I'm going to show you today. Going for a bit of island adventures. Me and my little guy right here. Everyone, my name is Dr. First Name Redacted Moreau. And this is my little guy. Everyone say hello to my little guy. He's not at all shy. He's a lot of fun. He's very personable. Yes, he says hello back. Oh, and now he's over here. He's over here on the other side of me. He runs around. He's a little cyclone of energy. You know how toddlers are, although he's actually 47 years old. There we go. That's the correct proportions. So let's go on some tours of some islands and see what if the animal people that I have created through painful, agonizing vivisection and DNA manipulation here in this 90s version of the story. Let us see if the animal people are living virtuous and civilized lives. Here we have one of my failed vivisection experiments. As you can see, her insides are splayed out all over her, and yet she goes on living, probably in agonizing defiance of the will of God. Although I believe it is the destiny of us men to make ourselves into the image of God. It is said that God has made us in his image. And yet I say no, it is up to us to make ourselves into his image. This poor young woman here, whose hair seems to be some sort of genetic aberration, some sort of, as I've never seen hair of that color. She must be some sort of unique mutation. She's been stranded on this island with this horrific, vivisected, splayed open, and yet still somehow alive specimen of, judging by the blue hair, I'm going to say this was a hedgehog. But enough dilly-dallying. We go out onto this island. See, we have blue trees and red roses and tea set up in an outdoors area. That's something that I very much like to see, signs of civilization even in the wild. I seek to not only tame the wild, I seek to enable and empower the wild to tame itself, so that civilization shall touch all corners of the earth. Ah, yes, we have the rare dodo bird. He was rare, very difficult to obtain specimen, and so I went right to work cutting him open right away as he screamed in unbearable agony without any anesthetic. And by the end of the process, he was working for an airline. I am truly blessing these savage creatures with the gifts of being a human being. A civilized human being. A redundant, repetitive 9-to-5 customer service job dealing with airline travelers. But no need to thank me. Here we have an island, and they're observing the Celtic tradition of Samhain, or perhaps they're telling the story of Cinderella. There's a carriage made out of a pumpkin. Either way, the cat person there and I'm going to say another Sonic Hedgehog, who I turned into a human being, are at least have an appreciation of literature. And so you see they have constructed a Cinderella's coach, perhaps as part of a theatrical production. What about God's joke, which is all of his creation? God created nothing but a sick joke, and it is upon us to fix his twisted mistakes. We are the punchline of God's sick joke. Fine specimen of octopus there in the tank. I should like to turn that octopus into a delightful waiter. You see, I would give him the blessing of a civilized life working in the service industry. I've turned many animals into my servants, and for that, I hope they are grateful. Wouldn't you be? You go from being a cat with not a care in the world, and you do nothing but eat and sleep and play all day, and then I use vivisection to painfully and horrifically turn you into a beast person who then has to get a job. You're welcome. We have raccoons here. Raccoons here tending to what looks to be a Sears or some other. I've been on this island for some time. Is Sears still a thing? Fills my heart with joy to see that they are putting the gift of their newfound humanity to use, working in retail. It's a J.C. Penney. I see. It's where I buy all of my moo-moos. I have them shipped in. Would appear there's some sort of occult practice here, and I don't care for it at all. I don't care for this superstition. I'm a man of science. Specifically the science of cutting open animals while they're still alive, stretching out their limbs, breaking the bones and resetting them, stretching out the muscle sinews and rebinding them in terrifying and upsetting new ways, truly doing the work that God was too much of a pussy to do. He left his creation unfinished and uncivilized, and I'm here to fix God's mistakes. You're all very welcome. Did I mention that I'm a vegan? I'm going to mention it a lot more. Here we have the cat person and the blue meanie. The blue meanie used to be some sort of undiscovered Galapagos kind of creature until I turned them into beast people and set them under the care of my former associate Sergeant Pepper. I hope it's all going swimmingly over there in the Sea of Green. You see, this specimen here is a vampire squid, and I've tried and failed repeatedly to turn it into a regular vampire, like a human-shaped vampire, like Count Dracula. One of these days, I'm going to torture one of those vampire squids into becoming a human-shaped vampire instead of a squid-shaped vampire. And here we have a purple cat person. It was so hard finding a purple cat, but as soon as I did, I set right to work, stretching her into purple cat girl. She was the prototype for my daughter Feruza Bok. The living spatch-cocked monstrosity is chasing around the two cat girls. And I just hope they all keep it civilized, or else I'll have to activate the shock collars. Some might say there's a cruel irony in taking a flightless bird and making it work customer service at an airport, and I would say that they are uncivilized boors who don't understand that these jobs have to be done by somebody. So why not beast people? Who would you rather have them doing it? Immigrants? No, thank you. We'll give the jobs to agonizingly created beast people. It's like a lot of people super into genetics. I am very much a xenophobe and a racist. He likes when I scratch behind his ears. He loves me to give him scritches behind his ears. I'm trying to do the Lord's work, because the Lord didn't finish doing his work. And so it is up to me to finish God's work for him. Here we are back in the IKEA run by the raccoons. I hear they have excellent benefits. Here's a different one altogether. It's a little goat person. Look at its little tail. I was unfortunate that I was unable to fully amputate it, but sometimes you must make concessions in the pursuit of science. You cannot let the perfect be the enemy of the good. She's a blue-horned goat person who probably has her pronouns in her Twitter bio. For some reason, the beast people can't quite grasp article adjectives or verb conjugation, but boy, did they latch on to the pronoun thing. Here we have a delightful little rainbow goat person who has gone to clown college and taken up employment as a birthday clown. Imagine a world filled with upsettingly upright standing goat people who can put on clown makeup and entertain your children at their birthday parties. This is the world that I have tried to envision that was denied to us by a cruel and twisted and lethargic and apathetic God. And why it behooves us to make ourselves into gods by creating the new human race. Hashtag Maha, make animals humans again. I hope I can count on all of your votes this Tuesday. Please remember to write in Dr. Moreau, no first name given. I'm Dr. Robinette Moreau. There's a little anteater person, but as I teach all of my children, you are not to eat the flesh of another species, so this anteater must now be a raisin eater. I taught the anteater to eat raisins and peanut butter on celery instead of real ants, because it's more civilized. You are correct, having heard that anteaters are difficult to work with. That's also a quality that all of my children get from me. I know you probably can't tell just by looking at me, but I'm a bit of a diva. And now there's the rhinoceros person. This creature was made by splicing together a rhinoceros and the DNA of a human and the DNA of a strawberry rhubarb pie. I was going way off into left field with this one, but she turned out very sweet, wouldn't you say? I named her Meringue, and I gave her a job as a baker. Greatest gift that I give all of my children is gainful employment in the retail and service industries. You are all welcome, my children. My father gave me nothing but savage beatings and poured whiskey on me as I slept in bed. And even though I came out of that home situation with a perfectly adjusted psychological profile, I've chosen to give my children something better. The gift of retail employment and veganism. Let's see, this island It's populated by, looks like a couple of horned toads that I turned into goth girls. These are two horned toads that are now goth girls that work at the Hot Topic in the mall. And now here comes a moose or an elk or something along those lines. And I said to him, "You shall wear Christmas sweaters, and everyone shall think at first sight you are a reindeer, but no, you are indeed a moose. Go forth and wear an ugly sweater, and it shall be a conversation starter wherever you go, all the better to practice linguistic skills." Oh, look, little man, he's running around. Little man, you need to sit still, sit in father's lap and be still. We're in the middle of something. There now, little man. And yet still this room is not as creepy as me and my whole situation. Ah, I see that they have put together a vivisection facility of their own. My children have chosen to follow in the path of their father, and my heart swells with pride, and also the cholesterol from the constant eating and snacking that I'm doing at every moment of the day. But I'm trying to watch my figure for the holidays and the new year, so no snacking right this moment. Although if I get hungry enough, I may very well have to eat little man. No, little man, it was just a joke. I was just joking. Come back, little man. Well, he's not the first that I've had to eat because there were no potato chips in the pantry. But I'm trying to hold off eating this one because I'm exceptionally fond of him. Looks like they're having some sort of slumber party. Some sort of vivisection-themed slumber party. Now, doesn't that sound like a jolly good time?